Well, kind of an odd night. To be honest, tough night for footwear, for feet. So this time of year, when we start switching them all back out of corks and getting them all shod, it seems like every year we always have a few little issues. Now, Will to Win Hanover 3 days ago popped a little quarter crack left hind. Now, Blacksmith come in, took some pressure off it. She's a young horse, so did we want to go straight to a window bar with her? It's a bit of an aggressive change. Would it bother her? Would it bother her gait? I don't know. We opted to not change them. We opted to stay the way they were. Dominic talked to the blacksmith. They talked to me. And they said, "Hey, here's the scoop. I think the filly's fine. I don't really want to make any changes with her." So we went with her tonight. And sure enough, that quarter crack bled. You could see if you watch close. Look at the slow mo. You could see she's a bit uncomfortable, at least halfway down the lane. I think she knows she is the race won. She was starting to let up a little bit, which isn't, I don't like when she does that, but she got the job done. And that quarter crack bled. So she'll probably have to miss a week. We want to get that cleaned up. We don't want to start racing her second start lifetime. So probably what you'll see is a few days to clean that quarter crack up real good. And then we will put a window bar on her. So that's the plan for Will to Win Hanover. Happy with her win nonetheless. 28 and a piece on the end of it. Archer's Rainbow got jammed up a little bit. Quite frankly, I almost lost her in the first turn. She was a little soft in the last turn too. I'd said to Harry, maybe how much toe did they take off of her? I said because she was terrible in her qualifier and felt a little soft again tonight. But man, she's a trooper, man. That horse run, she kind of got jostled a bit and then shot right back up in there. I thought when we got to the head of the lane that she'd really close up stronger, but she's a tall filly. Big, tall, lanky filly. And you guys, many of you know what went on with her, her whole life now, right? She's had that issue with her breathing. So I love the fact that she's looking for a fight all the time. And she was trying to come on down the lane, but 28 and a piece, her wasn't her first lifetime start, but it was her first start as a sophomore. Was impressive. I was happy with her. So both those trotters impressed me in different ways. One, Will to Win Hanover, got the job done with that quarter crack. So good for her. And then also Archer's Rainbow, no quarter cracks. She did her work well and finished up as well as she could. 28 and a piece on the end of it also. So good mile from her. Now we skipped ahead to race 3. Sailor, I didn't know what to think. I thought probably one of the best horses in the race. How would he race him? How would he drive him? And then we had that added confusion of him being back in to go Thursday. Dominic said, "Hey, do you think he'll be able to?" And I said, "It'll be up to you and James." We talked about it. And he said, if he goes out and wins as good as we think he will tonight, they'll certainly write him out of the class next week. So why don't we just see if we can double dip, give him a week off, and go from there. And what happened was, he didn't pop well, that's not true. The quarter crack we bought him with right front, that abscess, that area bled a little bit, and he popped what a blacksmith would call a gravel. Now, you hear it all the time. Again, if you know much about horses, you'll hear people say, "Oh, he popped a gravel." Nobody actually pops a piece of gravel out of the horse's foot. It's a term, but it's not an accurate one. It's like a pimple, right? But a horse's hoof is a lot stronger than your face, I hope. So, popped an abscess, a pimple out of his foot. Left hind, it bled a little bit. So not one, but two areas. And it's no coincidence that it's right front and left hind, right? They work together. So we're going to work on this guy's feet. It would be asinine to try and race him on Thursday. It wouldn't be fair to the horse. It wouldn't be fair to anybody involved with the horse. Probably what we'll do is scratch him Thursday. And then if they want, there was only 7 or 8 entered in that class. If they want him next week, they can carry it over to the Friday and use it. No problem. The things that that are going on with his feet are very, very fixable. They're cosmetic for the most part and can be easily fixed. A good shoeing, blacksmith's there tomorrow. A good shoeing, maybe 4, 5, 6 days with a bar shoe on each foot, and I think you'll see him back to 100% in no time. So he won't be racing on Thursday. We'll scratch him. I guess it was a long shot. Like if he goes out and wins wrapped up in 54, you all think you got the world by the arse, so everybody's happy. We were we were gambling. It was going to be best case scenario, and instead it was far from worst case scenario, but bad enough scenario that he was fifth. He raced okay. His line was adequate, but you can see again, he looks like he's loaded in the last turn, and I, probably like you, was like, James, why didn't you move the horse? What are you doing? And then when he came out of the last turn, watch what he does next. Starts to run in pretty good the whole way down the lane. That's that right front quarter crack. And again, the pressure that he was taking from that, I would say over a long period of time as he was training down, getting ready to race, caused probably a little bruise, little what we call a corn in his left hind foot. It worked its way up and popped out of his foot. So little maintenance on him, so he won't be able to race on Thursday. As I said, that was a bit of a long shot anyway. Captain Mike Dio, I didn't talk to James. I saw the last 3/8 of the mile. I'm at the barn right now. I was in taking temperatures and checking on the horses and realized I was about to miss Mike race. So tuned in. From what I saw, the last 3/8 of the mile looked rather pedestrian. You know what? This is the time of year I have people messaging me all the time saying, why is this horse up for sale? And this horse is... Again, I'm happy to answer all the questions, but at the end of the day, there's a lot that goes into me putting a horse up for sale, and I think we made the right move with Captain Mike Dio. I think the mistake we made was not putting him up for sale after his first win. I think that was an issue where we had a horse where I don't know if he can get around a half. Not really good enough to be a stake horse in Pennsylvania, not at this point anyway. So after that big 27-4, 57 mile on that cold night that he won, I think that was the time to strike. I don't want to name any names, James, but somebody talked me out of it, James, putting him up for sale, and I think that would have been a good stroke of business instead. We'll still do good. The horse is a nice horse. He's shown that he can pace. You know, he won in 57 when it was -20 or something. It was a good mile. So I think there'll be some suitors, maybe not as many as there would have been had we just looked at those two lines. Now he's throwing a 10th, a very poor 10th, where he was obviously a little bit sick, and come back with as I said, a kind of pedestrian 9th. Not really what you want to drop a horse in a sale off those lines, but at the same time, I don't think his value is diminished greatly from last time to this time. I still think he's a useful horse. Just again, not really what we were looking for. We were hoping for that big, he'd pace 53, do good in Kentucky, maybe Pennsylvania, and he may still. He's only 3-4 years into his career, 3-4 starts into his career. But at the same time, it's hard to list a horse like Peanut Butter and Jelly on the preferred site and not put Captain Mike Dio. It's just really hard to do. So at this point, you'll probably see those two horses end up in the preferred sale site next week. And then good luck to everybody. Obviously, Simba hasn't raced yet. I keep looking at my dash. My engine light come on. Why would it do that? Maybe I need an oil change? No, I would never let it go that low. So weird. Seems fine. Anyway, that's going to bug me for quite a while. I will talk to you all very, very soon. I see in behind me, if you look at the lights coming in, that's Arches Rainbow and Will to Win Hanover and probably Sailor returning to the farm. They'll be joined soon by Captain Mike Dio, and when Simba is done racing, him also. So that will be a wrap. Good luck to everybody with the Simba group. Obviously, I'm not going to wait till 10:30 or 11 o'clock to do a video. Wish you all good luck. So I am heading home in the rain. Everybody was good. Only 3 temperatures today. Slight, landing strip, landing pad, and Sir Strong. Those horses were a tiny bit sick, getting over a little something, but I think we're catching the tail end of it because they were good all day. So with that, I will say a good night from the stable, and I will talk to you all very, very soon. Take care.